Today we're going to be canning rabbit broth. I have frozen the pieces of the rabbit that we do not cook, the bony parts and things like that, and I just put the frozen pieces over in water and start it to boil, and it thaws them out and eventually cooks them. And once they get cooked where I can pull the meat off the bones, we will be jarring it up and then putting it in a pressure canner for an hour and a half. All meat, whether it is cooked or not, has to go into a pressure canner here at 10 pounds pressure for an hour and a half. So today it's rabbit broth. The pieces we usually save for bone broth are the rib cage parts, the back parts, the little parts that come off the back, and these flabby parts that come off. They don't look like they have much meat, but they have a lot of fat on them, and these parts work well for bone broth with rabbits. If you don't think they have some kind of flab and fat, they do, especially our rabbits. Here we have the backs, the ribs, all the meaty parts that were left. I'm going to take what little bit of meat is off and add it to the broth in the jars. So we should have at least 1 canner of rabbit broth. I already have my jars ready, and we're going to get our canner out, start pulling the meat off the bones, and get ready to start canning rabbit broth. We put our jars in some hot water plus our lids and rings. Then I add 1 teaspoon of salt, and this is non-iodized all-purpose sea salt that I'm using, to a quart jar. I added a handful of meat, and I'm adding the broth. And you want to fill it to the rim right there. That's where I want it. Okay, we're going to clean the top off, and then we're going to add a ring and a flat and put it in our canner that we have ready to go. And we have it at the limit with the water where the ring is, and we'll pressure it for an hour and a half. We have 7 jars. 6 of them are broth and meat. 1 is simply broth. We're going to put the lid on it, get the pressure up to 10 pounds, and then start countdown for an hour and a half. Okay, 6 jars of rabbit broth with meat in it, and 1 jar with just broth. So it's an afternoon's work, guys. Several meals of rabbit and broth.